The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the host of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Cedar Fair Entertainment Company, the amusement industry, and the business of fun. Here are your hosts, Karsten Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Hu.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast where we cover Cedar Fair, Cedar Point, and everything to do with fun. And I am not going to talk probably at all during this entire episode. So everybody get your fill of my voice in right now because I'm signing off.
Yeah, he's just going to listen to story time with Evan and I since we were able to go to Cedar Point before any time that I remember.
Mm-hmm. I will probably jump in at certain points and comment, but other than that.
Yeah. And that's because Kyle was he was not in the path of the totality of the Eclipse, and we were at Cedar Point, and it was amazing.
But in 2045, I will be in the totality zone. So you guys will be coming
I'm
down
making
to
the
see
trip.
me.
I already requested off of work for that, and I'm trying to buy my airline ticket, and I asked them, can I book for 2045? And they go, what? And they hung up on me. So good old
Honestly,
Spirit. There you go. There you go.
We should
Good
call
old
Spirit. We should call Spirit and see if they'll do it. We'll see which airline will give us an honest answer.
Yeah, right. Be like, no, not happening. We don't even know if we're going to be around. Like, we might go bankrupt or something, you know. Yeah,
I think though, besides the Eclipse, I think the biggest news, while the event was fun, we got to see a little something. We got to see a little something.
We sure did. We got to see that awesome, beautiful, brand new spike tower get used from Top Thrill 2. We were able to see it test literally right in front of our eyes. Unfortunately, we were, kind of stopped right over in the boardwalk area, so we couldn't get like super close to it. But wow.
It was so cool to actually see it running again.
Yeah, it was great to see. So first of all, like when it launches over the top hat, like once it completes everything and it goes over the top hat, it looks like you get
so
some
fast.
Yeah, it looks like you get some really crazy air, which is I'm over the moon, no point intended. But
no,
yeah.
I believe the moon is over the sun. I believe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Get it right, Karsten.
I'm sorry. But yeah, it was great, and also seeing it go up the spike. It goes up in videos. It goes like in videos. You can see it. You're like, okay, cool, yeah, great. When you see it in person and you see it go, that high, like Evan, you notice how high it was going. You want to describe how high it's going so people can
almost
look at a picture and kind of pinpoint.
So if you look at a picture of the spike, the very top piece of track is red, and then the piece of track right under that is white. The back of the train just about touches the bottom of that white piece of track. So essentially there's two full pieces of track behind the back of the train once it hits its apex or whatever. Now, mind you, that sounds like a lot, but that's still like the back of the train is still like at least 350 feet off the ground, something in that neighborhood.
Yeah,
and it's.
I can't just seeing that because you're going back at 101 miles an hour, and so you're just and just watching it go backwards for the longest time, and then it goes up that actual spike, and it's just like all the way up, and I'm just thinking in the back, at least in my head, I was like, wow, that's going to be a lot of floaty, feely, airy timings.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of floaty there, and then going over the original top hat looks a lot more ejector-y.
Yes. Well,
you get the best of both worlds, it sure seems.
What I liked with Wicked Twister was I always loved getting the back seat at Wicked Twister. The reason I liked doing that is because even though I wrote it so many times, it was very hard to pinpoint exactly when you're going to hit that crease and go up the actual the reverse spike, and you just kind of get caught off guard. So this is going to be the same way, only this is going to be 101 going backwards and not being able to look backwards, and then all of a sudden it's like whoop, and then you just keep going and going and going and going and going,
and
then
you're looking down at Power Tower. And
yeah. So
it's gonna be awesome.
I cannot freaking wait.
It's
freaking
only
wait.
Let's see, today's what, Wednesday? So we have what, 19 days until previews?
We've got
preview days.
Since you changed everything or whatever. We're just going to go from tomorrow. So starting from tomorrow is only 22 days until Cedar Point opens for the season, like the whole park. There's not, whatever. And there's going to be 16 days until preview days.
So it is close. Really close.
We're like preview days are like 2 weeks away ish or so. Like,
yeah, well, basically.
Oh, man,
I
cannot wait.
Full steam ahead. I mean, and they were testing it like crazy on Monday, and it seems like that's kind of been the norm every day. It was kind of funny when we first saw it test. We were walking up the entrance to Matterhorn. I just happened to look over and saw the silver train going over the hill, and I made some noise that I'm not even going to try to replicate right now.
That's probably a good idea.
And Karsten, you said after the fact, you're like, as soon as you made that noise, I knew exactly what you were like referring to. Because I'm not sure. Did you actually catch it yourself going down the hill?
I did. Yeah, no, I saw it.
And then we're riding Matterhorn, and I don't even remember the ride.
Dude, literally, we're riding Matterhorn. My head was like
completely
and Top Thrill.
As soon as Top Thrill came into view, my head was stuck on it.
It's like Top Thrill. No, Top Thrill. Top Thrill. Is everybody having fun? No, Top Thrill.
Nope.
Top Thrill. Like, stop talking to me.
I was like, we could just stop the ride now, and I want to get off and see if Top Thrill is still testing.
Yeah.
And then after that, you and we'll get into this, but you and Justin went over to Valraven for your lift walk, and I literally went and sat on the Grand Pavilion patio and watched for Top Thrill 2 to test.
Yeah, that was
and ate really good desserts because they had special desserts for the Eclipse. So
yeah, no, I mean, you can't draw up a better day than it was for the total.
It was perfect.
Like literally, like
it was 70 degrees out. It was perfectly sunny.
You know what, Tony? Thank you for ordering the weather because that was great. Like absolutely perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, it was 70 degrees, a very light breeze. It wasn't cold. I think I brought in.
It was almost hot at some point.
Yeah, you brought in pants. Or you had pants on, and then I also had like a sweatshirt on, and I was like, okay, cool, yeah, great, awesome. And then I was like, oh gosh, I'm hot. And then Justin's like, he had a thick hoodie on, and he's like, I'm gonna put my hoodie in a locker, and I'm like, sweet, I'm gonna put my jacket. And I literally was walking around in t-shirts and shorts just to give you an idea.
On April 8th in Sandusky, Ohio. So it was absolutely perfect.
Like literally when I bought my Eclipse ticket back like 3 months ago, and I'm like, dude, this is Ohio. It's going to either end up snowing.
It's going to be so bad.
Raining. We're not going to be able to see the eclipse because it's going to be, I don't know. There's going to be 4 feet of snow. Like,
right. We're going to be just buried in snow, and they're going to cancel the event. And
right.
So the sad thing is, though, I think we probably used all our luck, and that means that opening day and all the preview days are going to just be garbage.
Opening day is going to be really bad.
God, we rode Gatekeeper.
Coaster Mania, it's going to be snowing outside. I mean, yeah, all the luck is, definitely been used on for sure. Evan, you want to talk a bit more about our goodies of what we got?
Yeah. So
we'll go from there.
I didn't expect them to do this. But Cedar Point could have very easily just half-assed this event, like completely. They could have said, give us your money. We're going to open the gates. Gatekeeper will be open. Here's your glasses. Look at the eclipse. But they went so far above and beyond. I mean, they had special decorations. They had a DJ. They had, like, if you recall from like the beach nights or Cedar Point nights out on the beach, whatever, they would have all those like temporary games and tents and stuff that they would bring out for the kids. They brought all that stuff out. They had... I mean, it was really, really well done, like way over the top. The $99 actually got you something, and a better experience than trying to fight your way to some public park along the beach and then sit in traffic for an hour on the way home. But so yeah, we upon entering the park through the front gates, which I was wondering if they were even going to force us to go in through the boardwalk or something by Windseeker. But no, so we entered through the front gates. Its gatekeeper was flying above like a nice summer day. And they gave us a nice lanyard that says Total Eclipse of the Point. It has the date. The lanyard has a cool like Eclipse logo on it. We got our Eclipse glasses and 2 buttons, the first 2 buttons of this season. And then also on that lanyard was like a kind of like a timeline, I guess, of events. Like, okay, so
yeah, countdown pretty much to totality.
Yeah, like at what does it say? I got it
157.
Right at 157, the eclipse starts, right? So that's like just when the very sliver of the moon is going to start showing up.
Yep.
And then it shows, at 2:41, it's going to be about halfway, and then at 3:14, it's going to be, that's when totality starts. And so yeah, there was all that stuff. They had the main gift shop open with special Eclipse merchandise. They had, I think, 2 different T-shirts and a button.
Which sold out very quickly.
Immediately. I walked in the park at noon behind the initial crowd of people and did not get the size I wanted because it sold out. And then also waited a half an hour in line to buy a shirt that's not even going to fit me. But it was a cool shirt. I had to get it. Yes. And it was like $20. So
if anybody wants to see any of these pictures or videos of everything that we were able to do and stuff, definitely check out our Facebook page, because we definitely posted.
We blew up Facebook.
Yes.
But yeah, so then obviously the rest of the gift shop was just open with all their normal merchandise. There was some new stuff even from winter, like new since Winter Chill Out, and there's plenty more coming, as we've been told. And then after that, it was just, okay, go walk over to the boardwalk. And like from here, it's pretty much a normal summer day. Mm-hmm. Everything was running that was supposed to, and then some. Calypso and Giant Wheel were not on the list to operate, and then they were. So that was a nice little surprise, because I think we both love Calypso. That's probably one of my favorite flat rides.
Yeah.
Grand Pavilion was open.
If no one's ever ridden Calypso, it's always got some good like oomph to it. It doesn't last. Like, it's got some good oomph to it.
That's a forceful little ride. Yeah. Especially when you're wearing a stupid little seagull hat like I won at the game right before playing it.
I do want to before we get into more details of this, I do actually want to pause just real quick. We did walk by the Toffs ice cream shop. That
to get to the boardwalk, you have to walk by Toffs.
And the cow that I said from Winter Chill Out is still missing. So there's no cow still out there. I don't know if maybe they're getting rid of the cow or whatever. But also the sign for Toffs on the front half is actually gone. But the building itself is all decked out in Toffs. Maybe they're getting a new sign. I don't know. But the building itself is topped off with like all of their menu items and things like that, and so on and so forth. I did go over to the glass windows and take a peek. Everything still says Toffs on it. Everything's still there. So I don't know.
Maybe they're just getting a little upgrade.
There was a rumor. Well, I did actually look at Cedar Point's website. I did not actually see Toffs like brand of sponsorships on Cedar Point's website, so I don't know I don't remember it being on there, so I could be looking into too many things and whatever. But well, I guess we'll find out on opening day and see if it's Toffs or if it's a different ice cream or something like that. But I just wanted to make a quick note before we move on.
Yes.
So
also staying on the food train. So Grand Pavilion was open, and it was basically the Grand Pavilion menu that we came to know and love last year. They including the fish that they ran out of in like early September. The beer battered cod.
They just ran out. Fish was like no more. They went on strike.
Yeah, it was like early September, and they're like, yeah, we're done for the year with fish. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
still a long time to go. Okay.
Right.
But anyway, so that's back and on the menu. Their chicken tenders, the funnel cake shrimp, the carved beef had a little different spin on it this year, kind of more of an Asian flair. Ginger, soy, garlic. So that looked interesting. I got the fish, but they had their lobster bisque, chicken tenders, and then all the same side dishes. The potato fry, the wedge fries, the cucumber salad, the tropical rice, the Syracuse salt potatoes with loads of butter on it.
Oh gosh, I've missed that butter. I don't.
Yeah, that was so good.
It was like, finally, we're home.
I very happily paid a lot of money for a meal at Grand Pavilion.
Yeah, because our
it was
add-ons
so worth
didn't
it.
work. The add-ons, the food plan, and also the drink plan, and the fast lanes, whatever, obviously, didn't work, which was kind of a bummer. But I mean, it's to be expected because it's an extra event that the park.
Yeah,
is not fully
if
open.
anything, it was a good advertisement for me to remember to always get the meal plan.
Right. Yeah.
'Cause-
even if you're not going to get the all-season meal plan, get the all-day dining.
Get the all day. Get the all day dining.
It's like around like $40, I believe. Don't quote us on the price because it flexes.
And
you get a drink.
It's like $40 or $45, and you get to eat every 90 minutes. Now, for reference, I spent on 2 entrees and 2 sides, and then just a single glass of pop. I spent over $50. So that all day dining will get you way more than that over the course of the day.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind.
Especially if you get it early in the day. So if you visit the park at like 10 in the morning, you're going to
get 4 meals out of that.
You could get way more than that.
and it's all good food. And I wasn't upset about spending that money, especially because I knew what I was expecting.
Yep.
So yeah, just worth noting. And then upstairs at the bar at Grand Pavilion, they added a new like takeout window in between the bar and the like snack stand. But 2, we were fortunate enough to be around when they were handing out samples of a crab dip with like pita bread.
Something.
Yeah. Or no, they said non-bread. Non-bread was basically similar. But yeah, I don't know if the thought there is it's gonna they were doing like a test run to see if it would be popular, and they'll implement it in maybe the snack stand this year, or maybe make it one of the bar features. But I'm not a huge crab person, and I thought it was decent. And then you guys were all doing backflips over it.
Yeah, I mean, it had really good seasoning, and then also like I don't know. It was
also piping hot.
Yeah, right. I don't think that it was the imitation crab. Don't quote me on it, but like I actually got like really big chunks of crab in some of the scoops that I was getting.
Maybe it was like a little bit of real crab, and then they like kind of filled it in with imitation.
Maybe. Yeah, but it was really good either. Whether it was imitation crab or not.
If you're a crab person, I'm sure you will really like it. Just like if you're a meatball person and you like maybe sweeter stuff, you'll really like the new island meatballs down in the main dining area, which I forgot to mention was also available for purchase.
Mm-hmm.
And then to me, the star of the food scene was the desserts. I don't even know if I told you about this, Karsten, because this was while you guys were doing your Valraven lift walk. There was 3 different desserts for sale, and they were all $3. So that's awesome. One was just like, I think it was just a regular like vanilla cupcake with like regular buttercream frosting, but they made it like orange because the sun and yada, yada, yada. We didn't buy that one, but what we did buy was they had a brownie cheesecake, or a cheesecake brownie, I guess. Just, brownie and cheesecake mixed with frosting on it. That was super good. Especially for the price. Maybe a little sweet, but then the other thing that they had that me and my girlfriend Maya were like just losing our minds over, thought was really good, was they called it a moon pie, but it wasn't like your typical Little Debbie, moon pie. It was basically 2 pieces of chocolate cake with a like if you buy like oatmeal cream pies from Little Debbie, that type of cream, in the middle of those 2 chocolate cakes. Then they took that whole thing and dipped it in chocolate. Oh wow. My God, was that good? Like, please bring that to Sweet Spot, please. That was super good, and probably very expensive for them to make and tedious for them to make, but it was super good. So I was very happy to sit out on the Grand Pavilion patio right next to Wild Mouse, watch Top Thrill 2 test, enjoy the sun. So that was honestly my favorite part of the day, was enjoying those desserts and just enjoying the atmosphere being back in the park. But trying to think, and I think they had a Dippin' Dot stand open too, which again, that's not something they needed to do, and that was little extra that they did for an event to really make sure it was above and beyond. And then of course, let's see, what there were some Kitty Kingdom rides open, Gatekeeper was open, Max Air was open, Troika, we mentioned Calypso, Scrambler, Matterhorn, Wild Mouse, Giant Wheel. So it was pretty much everything over there except for Windseeker. And honestly, the weather was good enough that Windseeker probably could have ran.
Right.
I think they probably just didn't we're not going to bother with Windseeker. The weather's not going to be good enough for that.
Well, and also you got to think that the lowish ridership, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have low ridership per se, but like people aren't, they'll ride it once and they're like, okay, well we're good. And so then you're kind of like, Yeah.
But I was going to mention that Gatekeeper was running really well. Like we rode it twice, and I think those were two of my better rides on that.
Thing was
early season.
It felt good. There was never more than a 10-minute line, so
yeah, they had like the perfect crowd there. It was enough to feel like lively and busy, but like Wild Mouse was never over like 20-25 minutes. Yes. Gatekeeper was always just a station wait, and everything else was a walk on, especially after the Eclipse. Everybody just left.
Yeah.
And Gatekeeper never even broke down. Max Air never broke down. Wild Mouse had its issues, but then after the Eclipse, it seemed, because they closed everything for the Eclipse, right? So that the employees could watch Totality and enjoy that. And man, was that just absolutely incredible. But then Wild Mouse reopened after the Eclipse, and I don't think it broke down anymore. So it got all the opening day jitters out, you know.
Yeah.
You got to remember that it was still technically opening day for those rides.
Right.
Yeah. So it was, honestly, I was so impressed by the whole event. It was really a great time.
I was gonna say, I like, just jumping off of what you said, I really liked all the little details. If anybody knows Wild Mouse and all the mice, the heads that are over by the ride, they actually put sunglasses on all the mice. All the mice,
not sunglasses, Eclipse glasses.
Eclipse glasses. Sorry, yes. So they don't, their retinas don't get burned out of their heads. Which is,
you don't need the head mouse going blind.
Right. A little fact that not fact, but a little nugget that we did actually go take a peek at the freestyle stand over by Gatekeeper, and it looks, at least that location is going to be getting new freestyle machines. It's not going to have the push button ones that they use. It's going to be, the
dispensing button is touchscreen now.
Yeah, the touchscreen button. If you've been to like a Burger King or a Wendy's, more so a Wendy's, they've got like the little button that says press here, but it's not really a button. It's just like almost like what you use for your phone screen. But anyway, so maybe that's coming all around the park. I'm not sure, or maybe it'll be
That'd
a phase
be nice,
out,
because those ones actually work a lot better.
And I don't know if I almost want to say that the park probably doesn't own those. It's probably a Coca-Cola thing, and it could be a contract thing. So it could be just like them just
hey, here's your free upgrade.
Right. By the way, we're going to upgrade you guys to,
Yeah, and I'm sure the park didn't complain.
Right. And they're like, oh, perfect. And we'll see that. There was also really cool selfie stations too. They had like the total eclipse, like a big giant moon with the sun and everything, like blocking it and stuff, with the skyline and everything. That was really, really cool.
A couple, what was it? The Grand Carousel, and then the doors to Grand Pavilion had like a wrap over them that had, the logo, and then it showed like Cedar Point rides, but they like drew them to look like constellations.
Yeah.
To fit the whole star, the sky theme.
Cool. I thought it was,
which was really cool.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of fun.
Definitely. You know what? Huge. I don't think we can say it enough, but huge kudos goes out to Cedar Point for making this event a huge success.
Because I feel like that was a huge undertaking.
Hopefully they decide to maybe have more events ish per se.
Pre-season events, little dip your toes in the water events.
Right? Like, I mean, I would pay $100 again and hang out and at one of the parks, even if it's just an area. I mean, I don't know.
Especially years that there's nothing new, where you're not going to have there's no real reason to be there preseason. Like, there's no Eclipse, there's no Top Thrill 2 opening, but like, let's like next year, say we could pretty well assume there won't be anything new. Let's do a weekend of Wild Frontier Nights, in mid-April, and just
I don't know. I
do a
don't know.
little season preview event.
Right.
I think since this was successful, maybe that's something they'll think about.
I don't know if they. I don't know.
It's so contingent on the weather, though.
I was just saying, well, that, and also I think the thing is also staffing. I mean, everybody, every ride and every location pretty much was all staffed with either like actual like
full timers or
full timers or part timers that work for the park, like year round, or
like people like all the ride ops supervisors.
Yeah.
That I'm going to be a supervisor on Steel Vengeance this year, but today I'm running Wild Mouse just to get us through the day.
Right. But I mean, because
that was not a. I mean, they needed a hefty bit of staffing for that event. You figure
you don't think about it, but you're like, wow, you probably need at least maybe 100 to 150 employees.
Yeah.
Just get everything all staffed
the front
up.
gate, the security, the guest services, the gift shop.
Yeah.
Actually, the gatekeeper gift shop was even open. Of course, all the rides and every little thing, the trash, the sweepers, and all that stuff. So yeah, that was a big deal. Traffic control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
I think I heard from somebody that there was about 2,000 people there, which doesn't seem like a huge number, but when it's that nice, that area of that area of the park, it was a nice little crowd.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't it wasn't bad at all.
And then, I mean, what can be said that hasn't already been said about the actual Eclipse? I mean, of course, that was.
I was going to say, you want to go into detail a little bit about,
that. So the nice thing was Cedar Point was smart enough to close all the rides during it, so you didn't have all that background noise from the rides. So that that fits the vibe of the Eclipse, anyways. Just the silence and just the awe of what's going on in the sky. But from a Cedar Point standpoint, we were standing kind of in front of Gatekeeper by its entrance, and just seeing the sunset all the way around the peninsula instead of just out in the west like we're used to, which Cedar Point's almost famous for. Seeing that beautiful sunset all the way around the park, and then of course Totality itself with the silver ring around the moon, and the seagulls freaking out thinking it was nighttime, and just the almost eerie, no pun intended with Lake Erie, almost eerie, calming silence when everything was starting, when Totality was approaching very quickly. And they played some, I don't even know what type of music you would call that.
Somber music, like very very.
If you went to your local science center and went in their planetarium, whatever music you would expect to hear in there, that's kind of what they played during Totality, and it really set a nice vibe for watching watching Totality.
Really did.
It was like spiritual, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, coming up to the Eclipse, I was like, yeah, it'll be cool. Okay, it's gonna get dark for a little bit. Yeah, there's a ring of fire in the sky. Whoop-de-doo. But nothing can prepare you for how that feels, how that looks. That was without a doubt, one of the coolest things I've ever experienced or ever will.
Yeah, no, I mean, nothing beats like a actual full, the full totality, and seeing, the sky completely dark, and, the sun behind the moon, and I'm like, when it was happening with me, it definitely gave me goosebumps, and we were watching it throughout the day and stuff, because they're like, oh, it's halfway through, and, taking a peek with our glasses, unlike Justin, our awesome announcer, that decided to not do it at all. And he's like,
Justin wouldn't look through the glasses. He wouldn't look during Totality when you don't even need the glasses.
Nope. I'm like,
if you see Justin, bully him.
I got you 2 pairs of glasses. You can wear the 2 pairs of glasses. He's like, So,
if you see him in the park, just bully him.
Yeah, be like, why didn't you look? Actually, I actually heard supposedly there's people that are kind of afraid to look at the sun, even if you do have the glasses and stuff. So, Whatever. If that's, you know what, I know that he was happy as a clam being in the park, experiencing everything that we were able to experience and stuff like that.
Poor
Come
Justin.
on, man. Even
Well,
Kyle
okay.
looked up at the sun with no glasses. Like, come on.
So we're not going to bully him about that. We can bully him because he was absolutely petrified to be standing up on the Valraven platform with you.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you want to talk about how that was?
Yeah. So we were able to get the VIP ticket before it sold out, which was really cool. And we got our ticket for $200, and pretty much it's like $100 to do that, lift hill walk instead of the $220 that they, or whatever price that they offer, that you have to get two people, make sure that you have two people sign up with you. Well, I'm like, oh, Justin, we got to do this. He's like, all right, I'm in. Sweet. Let's do it. Let's buy it. I'm like, cool. So we bought it. And I'm like, okay. So we get up to the thing, and he's like the first one in there. He's already, I'm like, they're still talking, like the ride ops are still talking, and Justin's literally got his security belt, I guess you could say, wrapped around his waist, like super tight, to where he looked like he was like ready to go. And I'm like, Justin, they're not even down yet. He's like, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. I'm like, okay, well, I know that he gets scared on Giant Wheel. I do have some pictures of that. So if anybody comes and approaches me in the park.
I want to mention, though, as you guys were approaching your time to go over to Valraven, Justin kept saying things like, so, like, how much taller than Gatekeeper is Valraven? We're like, it's like 60 feet taller, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He was getting some cold feet, but then...
I told you.
I think he had convinced himself that he was ready to go.
I felt like he was getting cold feet. I'm like, he's gonna. So anyway, so all right. So
I was on standby to take his ticket.
Right, and so we get into the elevator, and we start going up, and he's just holding on for dear life. I'm like, and I'm just like willy nilly, like, yeah, this is cool. This is not better than climbing up the steps, because when I had to do Fury and stuff, you had to climb all those steps, and that was a lot of steps.
The riding the funicular is a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was a little warm in there, but whatever. Anyway, they do have air conditioning.
God, you're a little picky, aren't you?
What's
your $100 getting you, huh?
Yeah,
air conditioning.
Yeah, right. So we get up to the top, and they start, clipping us to the
safety rail thing.
The rail thing. I think it's called like a catch dog or something. I don't know for sure. I don't know the specific terms. So we're getting, latched onto the ride because you got to undo from the elevator and so on and so forth. So we start going up, and I'm behind him. I made the mistake of going behind him. So he let everybody else out in front of our tour, and I'm like, no, I wanted to go first. He's like, oh no. I'm like, all right, whatever. So we start going up these hills, and I'm literally like right at his back almost, and I'm like, Justin, keep moving. And so he's going up super gingerly slow, and he's like holding onto the rail like with a death grip, and I'm like, and me,
did he even take any pictures up there?
He took 0 pictures up there.
God.
Ladies and gentlemen, 0 pictures. Yes. I was
this
like,
man
Justin
paid $100 to frighten himself.
Well, I was like, Justin, are you going to take any pictures? He goes, no. Oh, okay. He was very quick on the no. I'm like, all right. So we're walking, and he's walking not normal, but he's walking with like a small little like gape in his step.
Could you feel the ride shaking from his legs shaking?
Yeah, right. I was gonna say I didn't feel any wiggle or nothing. Like on Fury, you could definitely feel it moving back and forth, especially when people were climbing up that lift hill as well. But I'm like, okay, I'm like Justin, like, let's go out a little further. So we go out like all the way as far as everywhere, and then oh my goodness, the sights up there. So freaking nice. Like, first of all, you can see Top Thrill 2, which it started testing literally when we were up there. So I got to see it, like, and I posted this on our Facebook page. So if anybody wants to see the video, it's like a minute and 30 seconds or so. But you can see it launch forward and then come back, and then it goes all the way up the spike, and you could see kind of like how high it goes, pretty much with the spike and stuff. It goes higher than what we were and everything, and looks so good.
Which is nuts.
so quiet. It's so quiet. It's not like the Bat Out of Hell one, with Top Thrill Dragster.
The loud motor.
and everything. So that'll be interesting. I can't wait to like actually walk by the ride and actually hear it when we're there and stuff. So we got we see it test and everything. That was really cool. Some of the things I did notice, I'm going to point them out. I did see the gift shop is still continuing to be worked on. That's next to Top Thrill. That's always good to see. Definitely was able to also see the power tower getting painted. They're really coming along on that. They
almost done.
Yeah, it's almost done.
More than 3/4 of the way.
Yeah. It's got 2 blue towers, and it's just missing. It's got a little partial of the red tower of the 4th tower, but it's just missing that last 4th red tower, and it'll be done, which will be really nice. And that blue looks.
It really, really pops.
And I'm sorry, Power Tower really needed a paint job. It really did.
They make it seem so easy. Like y'all couldn't have done this years ago.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more logistics and things like that to go on. But also another thing I did notice, it looks like Rougarou is getting some love this off season. It looks like from looking at the photos that the chain actually for the lift hill is getting replaced, which is nice to see. Or
maybe the lift motor too, because there was a crane up there by the top of Rougarou.
Or yeah. So that's always good to see. I do want to share the little nugget that I did share with you, Evan. I was looking all up and down these photos for any types of things that I did not see while I was up there, and I do see some kind of like launch Christmas tree ish. There's a pole next to the launch on Top Thrill too, that you can't see anything. It's just a pole, so I don't know if it's for the ride. It could be for a launch tree. It could be for a camera mount or something like that to take pictures. Maybe going backwards or coming forwards off the tower or something. I thought that was really cool. It was also really cool to see the grandstands. The grandstands are still there. They seem to have moved the fence a little bit in towards the grandstands. So I remember there used to be kind of like a walkway in front of the grandstands that you could walk to, to Top Thrill and stuff and everything. That doesn't seem to be there anymore. It looks like that's closed off, and they walled it off for the ride. So that area is not as accessible as it was before. I did also notice that the VIP lounge area, the tents and things like that were gone, and a brand new slab of concrete is down, and they've got some really nice wood paneling and a roof, and it looks almost like Kings Islands-ish, a VIP area, but a lot bigger. So I'm curious to see what they're going to offer there. I know either at King's Dominion or Carowinds, I think it's King's Dominion, they actually offer like a VIP lounge, which is like inside of a building. And I saw that
King's Dominion.
They were offering the fountain drinks. There was someone that was behind the counter that would be able to scan your pass and you can get a fountain drink. I'm wondering if they're going to have something maybe like that. That'd be kind of nice. That way, you don't have to worry about trying to get a drink before you go into there.
Good year to get my first Prestige pass, huh?
Yeah, for sure. And then, I was also looking at the entrance area of Top Thrill 2. The locker area, it looks like it possibly got a little bit expanded. We don't know what's going on with that yet. We did see that.
It didn't look like there was any actual lockers there.
No, not yet. They
just expanded the area.
Cedar Point actually released some of the safety protocols for Top Thrill 2. We're not comfortable yet to release our opinions / thoughts, and we want to make sure we get all the facts right before we release everything. So if you want to look at Top Thrill 2's ride page, and you can read all about that stuff. We just want to. I'm
sure in the coming days, honestly, Tony will probably talk about it in depth.
There was an article on WKYC that they were verifying something, and Tony Clark was talking back to them, and I would assume in an email fashion. And he says that at a later date, closer to opening day, which we don't have many days left, he said that there's going to be a blog / new post.
That'll be the last Top Thrill Tuesday.
By the way,
Here's all our loose article policies that
everyone will be
everybody's going to be upset about. Happy
wait a
Top
minute,
Thrill
though.
Tuesday.
No, I was gonna say they'll release all of that and have everyone be like, "Meh," and then all of a sudden be like, "But Ready to Go is coming back," or
Yeah.
something
It'll be
hey!
it'll be it'll be what it is, and at the very bottom it'll be like, oh yeah, and Ready to Go is back. So they could add that little
Right.
end on a good note.
We still don't know what songs or what anything's coming back. We still see the countdown lights are still on the actual existing tower. So maybe those
we didn't get any Top Thrill Tuesday this week, so maybe I don't know.
Get a double one next week, right?
Yeah, or maybe we'll get like Top Thrill Thursday or something tomorrow.
maybe, and then
Top Thrill Tuesday Thursday.
Also on the top of on the top of Valraven, you can really see how high the spike tower is compared to Power Tower. It's like double in size. It's insane.
Watching the train go over Power Tower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
that's pretty crazy. And then obviously, the Midway's coming together. They got a lot of new concrete being poured for the Top Thrill 2 Midway. You could see some of the signs that were already planted over by where Power Tower is. They've got that one. They've got one over by the grandstands, and I think they have one over there by where that little mini bridge is, where they normally have the tractors and
those signs are actually already in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one over by Power Tower is actually covered up with a bunch of bags and stuff and everything because I'm sure they don't want to get paint on it, or they also don't want to have it get dusty and stuff and everything.
Make sure it's nice and pretty for opening day.
Really, really cool to see everything from on top of the Valraven lift hill. I definitely recommend, if anyone's going to do it, just do it, because you get a free breakfast out of it. You get there's a bunch of perks and things like that you get with it as well. And it's a fun time. They definitely take care of you. You're definitely super safe up there. Nothing's going to happen.
I don't know, man. If you ask Justin.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Ask Justin whenever you see him. Be like, what did you think was going to happen? Did you
Did you think the ride was going to collapse?
Right. But yeah, the Top Thrill 2 area is just looking ready. No pun intended, but
ready to go.
Ready to go. It really is.
And I wanted to point out that you were lucky enough to be probably, well, how many people were up there with you? 5.
There was 5.
You and your 4 closest friends are like the only people to get a picture of Top Thrill 2 running from Valraven. Like, that's not something that's going to happen because you can't take your phones out on rides. So, and when Valraven's normal Sunrise Thrills tour happens, that's well before anything in the park is testing or anything for the day. So that's really cool that you were able to get the train coming back up that spike right towards you while you were standing up there on Valraven.
Yeah, it was really cool. Really, really cool. I loved every minute of it. And they were like, okay, it's time to go. I'm like, can we have 5 more minutes, please?
I'll do the dishes.
Yeah, right. I'm like, can please? They're like, no, we got
to throw an extra $50 in.
Yeah, right. I'll throw a tip in,
Yeah.
I do want on a more serious note, and Evan, I didn't say that I was going to say this because it's just fly by the wind. There is a video going around online showing Top Thrill 2 testing when we were at the park of something flying off of the actual ride. Well, Tony Clark from Cedar Point actually posted about this and said it's nothing to fear. It was and I will read this quote unquote. He said it's a water ballast bag that wasn't properly secured by the manufacturer during their testing. That's not a part of the guest restraint system, by the way, unquote.
So essentially they had like a water bag sitting on the train that they forgot about and then launched it and it fell off. That's all it was.
It wasn't secure. So it wasn't anything part of the ride. I know everyone was like blowing us up and asking us questions on every post and things like that. Don't read anything into it and things like that.
I saw people like, oh, it was probably a hat or a cell phone. I'm like, well, the ride wasn't open, so incorrect.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, don't believe everything that you read out on the internet, because
Yes.
a lot of it's false. But I just wanted to share that.
Never fear. Everything's okay. Top Thrill 2 is ready to go. Like, legitimately, no pun intended, but pun intended.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, that was a great event. Kyle, do you have any questions for us? I know that we chatted a lot about,
how are your eyes doing, Kyle? Didn't you stare at the eclipse?
Yeah, I watched it. I happened to be over at SeaWorld at the time, and the group I was with, someone said, "Hey, I bet you won't look up at it," because down here in Florida, we only had like 65% totality or 65% coverage. We didn't have totality, so it got dark, but it wasn't as bad as you guys. I was like, I'll look at it. I looked up at it, and the whole rest of the day, I just saw like TV static in my eyes. It was crazy.
We don't recommend anyone look at the sun. I just want to throw that out there. Please do not.
Yeah,
Kyle.
Don't follow Kyle's lead.
You're that one friend that literally saw a speedway and started running across the street and didn't care if there was cars right there.
The funny part too was we had glasses. I just chose not to use them.
What are you doing, bud?
Well, right after I put the glasses on and looked at it, it was really, really cool. I can't believe how dark it got here. I can't imagine.
Because you couldn't see.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like how like it got dark. I can only imagine where you guys were with.
The thing that was actually most crazy to me, and I'm sorry, this is probably going to sound very contrary to what you said, Kyle, but I'm agreeing with you too, is when the totality ended. Just that little sliver of sun, how much that lit up the world,
Yeah.
But then, like as Kyle said, when we were at like 50 or 60%, it was like, wow, it's like dusk. This is weird.
Mm-hmm. The little bit of sun that came through, like right after, it was like, oh look, it looks like a halogen light, because it had the weird haze with it. So, but
I'm glad you got to see a little bit of it, Kyle, and then went blind.
Next time it happens in 2045, it'll actually be happening in Orlando, so I won't have to travel for it. You guys will.
And I totally plan on it. I mean, what better place than to be at Epic Universe, especially in like Celestial Park during the next total eclipse? I mean, it makes perfect sense.
I mean, I was going to hang out where the Guardians of the Galaxy was, but
Oh, okay, that works too. Well, one of us will be at
Disney tickets are $700 to get into the park.
You'll have Disney covered, I'll have Universal covered, and Kyle will have SeaWorld covered.
There we go.
There we go. We got it all mapped out.
So I heard you guys mention...
Because we'll totally still be doing this in 20 years, right?
Hey, you never know. I mean, why not?
I think we'll be probably on the third or fourth round of hosts by then.
Kyle's like, I'm not doing it anymore.
No, Kyle's still got to edit.
The one thing I was going to ask you guys was, I heard you mention how there were like buttons for sale.
Yes.
Total Eclipse of the Point buttons. Was there any other special merch being sold?
Just 2 t-shirts.
Okay.
Kyle, I have the lanyard. Unfortunately, people listening won't be able to hear or see it, but so the one t-shirt had like this logo on it, which is like, for those listening at home, it was like their standard Skyline logo, but then it just had Total Eclipse of the Point above it. And then they had a button that looked the same way. And then they had a bigger button that you could buy that looked exactly like this.
Like a 3-inch button. It's pretty big.
But then this was one of the free ones that they gave us, Kyle. And then this is what one of the t-shirts looked like on the back. It had like a more like, here's our skyline with the actual eclipse above it.
Did you guys see
that's the shirt that I bought.
Did you guys see any more cool merch? Be it Top Thrill 2, Cedar Point, anything?
There wasn't really much new stuff in that regard since Winter Chill Out.
I saw
a couple general Cedar Point shirts.
I don't know if these were at Winter Chill Out per se, but they had brand new Top Thrill 2. At least to me, they were brand new Top Thrill 2, New Era hats. Those looked.
Oh, really okay. Nice. Yeah, those might have been new. I don't know.
They had like 3 different colors, 3 different They had like a red.
I would imagine that they probably already have a majority of the Top Thrill 2 merchandise like staged and ready to go for the.
Well, they said. Intended.
staged and ready to go
on
for the
the
new
preview
gift
days,
shop
you're going to be able to buy a bunch of
at
merch
the
and stuff
CP
and
Racing
everything.
store.
So it's going to be crazy. It's going to
So
be.
I would imagine that
bring
they've
your
already
wallets
kind of.
Get a loan ready to go.
Yeah, I would imagine though that they've probably already pulled most of the Top Thrill 2 merch from Point Plaza in preparation of getting it into the CP Racing store. So that's probably why we didn't really see anything else new in that regard.
We're actually recording. I remember we recorded the day before. Everything for the preview, the season pass preview, is currently available right now, except for the charity ride, which is
sold out.
Yes, that sold out probably within a few hours, maybe less than that?
Something like that. But if you're a Prestige Pass holder, if you're a Keychain person, if you're a Gold Pass holder, if you're a Summer Pass holder, if you're a Platinum Pass holder, all of your events are still available. So go sign up for them if you haven't already, in case they do sell out.
Right? Yeah, because it says limited capacity. So
to be fair though, if you're listening to our podcast, you probably already did it.
Right. I was able to score the Prayers for Maria charity ride ticket, which I'm super stoked about. I thought I was like immediately as soon as it went, I was like, bye.
Yeah. And then honestly, you probably could have gone back an hour later and would have been fine. But oh well.
You never know. You never know.
Better safe than sorry.
Yes, but yeah. Go and definitely go and register and go check that out on the cedarpoint.com/events page, and
so that you can be riding Top Thrill 2 with us in 16 days or less if you're listening to this a few days from now. 16 days. That's it.
We're finally to the home.
And okay, so I don't think we're going to record next week, but then Kings Island's open, so we'll record after that's opening weekend, and then our next recording after that will be after preview days. So we only have one more show coming and before we get to ride Top Thrill 2.
And we've got a lot to talk about for everything that
it's going to be a heck of a few days.
You will not want to miss our reviews we'll have reviews of the areas. We'll have reviews on, the foods.
That's going to be a long episode.
Yes. So make sure
this next episode, which will come out in like a week and a half. It'll be, or 2 weeks. Not that episode, but the episode after that.
Yes.
Is going to be all our Top Thrill 2 reviews and talking about the areas and all that good stuff. But then next week, in 2 weeks, we'll get to tell you all about Kings Island and what they're up to this year.
Maybe we'll go live for that episode.
Probably not, because I still don't have a permanent residence for the podcast yet.
I think it looks fine.
All right.
I don't think anybody will care. You can throw a background on there if you really wanted to.
That is true. And maybe my cats will walk across the screen too.
Yeah, right. They could say hi to the kitty cats, but I think that maybe we can go live and answer some questions live if people have any questions or things like that. That's what I was thinking.
That'd be a good idea for the Top Thrill 2 show.
Yes. But
even though we kind of just did a question show, but this is more specific to
Top Thrill.
That thing over there.
Thing over there.
Oh well.
All right. Is that all we got tonight?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Let's wrap it up then. Like everybody said, probably won't record next week, but we'll definitely be back the week after. Be sure to tune in when we do our big Top Thrill 2 episode. We might be doing it live. That's all I got.
The season's here. That's pretty much what I got. We're riding roller coasters in Ohio again, and Kings Island soon, and Top Thrill 2 after that. Couldn't be more excited.
And make sure that you share this podcast with all of your friends. We really like the feedback, so make sure you send us the feedback. Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right, that's going to do it. Take it away, Justin.
Thank you for listening to the Rundown on Fun. Be sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date on all things Cedar Fair. As always, be kind to your ride operators, and we will see you on the Midway. Good night.